Hello and welcome back, friends, to another episode, the penultimate episode. I think that's how it's stated. Anyway, the second to last episode of our Horus Heresy series, and we have, as voted, the Dark Angels. I mean, they were pitted up against Ultramarines, so of course, it's going to be Dark Angels. So next week's going to be Ultramarines. And before we dive in, I just want to just say, just consider all the little buttons down there. So you got your like, you got your subscribe, you got your hype as well, comment, all that kind of stuff. Do all those things, makes me very, very happy. And with all that kind of stuff out of the way with, let us grab our paints and paintbrushes and let's dive straight into this. However, before we get started, we're going to need a selection of paints, and these are all the ones I've used in this video today, alongside which we're going to need just a little fluffy brush. Going to need a little bitch brush for doing metallics, and our teeny tiny brush for all of those teeny tiny places. So we'll start out with a black acrylic primer going all over the miniature, and it's going to be another black armoured marine that we're going to do. So this time I've got a nice little fluffy dry brush. I'm going to take some Corvus black, and what we're going to do is that we're going to use this and we're going to dry brush all over the miniature. I'm going to try and take off the majority of the paint off my brush. Always test it just to be sure on the back of your thumb or like a paper towel or something. And we're just going to work this over the armor panels. Now that we're done with that step, we're then going to move over to using a slightly lighter shade of grey. So with this, I'm going to use some Storm Vermin Fern. I'm going to mix it into whatever left of the Corvus black I have. And then we're going to do a light dry brush just going over the top, and this is going to hopefully serve as our highlights. Now, of course, if you wanted a much more brighter, more contrast-filled highlights, then you can just increase the brightness of the paint that you're using, the mix, and just go over it very, very, very lightly. Alternatively, you can do it the sort of normal way and just use it by normal brush. Just really, really thin brush, and then just go over the edges that way. But one thing that I love about the Mark III and also the Mark II is because the armor segments are sort of layered up, you can just easily go over the edges, and then it just picks out the highlighting for you. We're going to do this, see how it looks, and we'll be back for the next step. So it's pretty much done, but again, as stated before, that you can just go over just with a lighter mix of grey, and then just with the thin paintbrush, you can just go over, pick a few areas out. I might just do a few bits just here and there, but I won't go too mad with this because I'm not a fan of highlighting, or rather extreme highlighting, just because it I don't know, doesn't look realistic to me, but it might do for you guys. So go ahead, just pick out a few bits, highlight as much as you like or as little as you like, depending on, again, like how many miniatures you're going to be painting. If you're going to be painting loads, and then just stick with the dry brushing method. If you're doing like a special character or that sort of thing, then give it a little extra highlight, just show off a little bit more detail and a bit like, you care a little bit. So just while I've got the thin, teeny tiny brush and the highlight colour, one thing that you can do as well is you can do just a few little bits of like battle damage, or like chip damage, some scratches, scuffs, that kind of thing. Because what you would tend to do is use the colour that you're going to be using for highlighting to do all the scuffs and scratches and bits. So you can just kind of like pop on a few, just sort of here and there. Again, like little is better. Just having like a few bits here and there, just to show a little bit of damage and stuff. You can either use the teeny tiny brush, or you can use like a little sponge just to show like more chip damage, that sort of thing, and just have a little little play. Once he's all done and battle damaged and roughed up, we're then going to move over onto some metallics. So we have this Iron Warriors here. And I'm going to grab one of my teeny tiny brushes. And we're going to be doing a lot of the trims that you kind of see here on the Mark III. So kind of like around the knees, torso, that sort of thing. And then of course the shoulder pads and anywhere else you fancy, really. And then we'll probably use a lighter silver as well, just to pick out just a few sort of raised areas, just to make it stand out a little bit more. And this should hopefully help to differentiate between this and all the other black armored marines I've done lately. So in case you wanted to make the silver just pop a little bit more, I have some of this granite steel here. And what we're going to do is that we're just going to take our little bitch brush here and we're going to do just a rough highlight, just going over some of the areas of the metal bits and pieces. Now that we're done with that and the metallics are pretty well done, we're just going to go and apply a little bit of a wash. Where is it? There it is. A little bit of Agrax Earth Shade, and we're going to put this over the... I mean, personally, I think it will look really nice over the weapons. Just so then, when it dries, it's going to be more of a sort of brownish weathered metal, which should help to distinguish between the metal that we've used for the rest of the armor, and you know, just add a little bit more of a warmth tone to the piece, rather than it just being sort of just boring and black. I'm trying to make painting black armor just look a little bit more fun as best I can. Again, you know, you could use this on the shoulder pads, but I'll probably go with something more like null oil instead. But yeah, we'll just leave that to dry and move on to the next step. Just to help to add a little bit more colour to this miniature, I thought I'd just give it a go with doing a little bit of painting some squares with red. So I thought that'd be kind of nice. So I thought I could maybe like divide this knee pad up into quadrants. So I'm just going to kind of roughly trace out one square, or 1/4, and the other quarter across here. And of course, you know, just use a teeny tiny brush. And then we're just going to fill it in. Just using a dark red just to start out with, because then we can then use more of the sort of normal red just into our mixture, just to make it a little bit brighter. And we can just kind of fiddle about, try and get it as exact as we can. Now, if you do end up going wrong and, you know, one square is bigger than the other, then you can always mix up some black, or like some Corvus black that we used prior, and correct it going on from there. I would like to maybe try to do a bit of a checkered thing just on the vambrace here, because I've seen a lot of artwork with that sort of thing depicted. And for some reason, I think that maybe the red's going to be a bit more forgiving rather than using white, so I'm just going to give it a go. So I'm going to see about making a grid pattern, something that's not going to be too small, kind of like that. Why did I pick this arm? And then I'm gonna go just really lightly across there, and then coming down there. Cool. And again, it really does help just to keep your paints just nice and watered down, just thinned down, either with using tap water or some Lehman medium, just whichever is your preference. And then we're just going to start to fill out the squares just like so. And hopefully that should turn out pretty darn good. Now, I haven't really done checkers. I'd tell a lie. I have done checkers before, but not for a very, very, very long time. So, be interesting to see how this turns out. And you might not be able to see it very clearly at the minute, but once we start adding in some more of our Mephiston red, it should look pretty darn good. So while we have our Abaddon Black and Mephiston Red, we're also going to throw in some orange and a little bit of white. I'm going to do the eye lenses today. So I'm going to start out with a mixture of black and red, probably about 50-50-ish, and then we're going to just fill in the first sort of half to 2/3 of the lens, rinse that out, and then we're going to mix in pure red, paint like the front little bit, probably like front third, and then using a bit of red and orange just to mix in, just to do the very, very kind of, I say the top, but like the points that are like closest to each other, and then a tiny spot of white right at the very back of the lens, and then that should show a nice little bit of a reflection. And then building up these colors like this means then we get a bit of a nice smooth kind of blended effect that shows a bit of glow, a bit of life behind those lenses. So the time has come, the time is nigh that we're going to do the logo. So I've got a suitable image loaded up. Couldn't decide whether to do it in white or red, but I think with the checkers that we've done so far, I think red's going to be really quite nice. So I'm going to start out with a bit of a dark red, just to kind of get the basic shapes down, and then I'm going to start to blend in the Mephiston red and then the Troll Slayer orange. I'm going to load up the image, apologies for any little camera wobbles, and let's get started. Alright, so here we are at the end of the video. So this is how I went about painting the Dark Angels for your Horus Heresy Legions. And it's been, well, it's been another black armoured marine, but, you know, I did try to make it a little bit more interesting by doing a little bit of battle damage. Tried out with some of that checker pattern as well. I think it turned out alright. I'm sure, you know, there's people that have practiced doing checker patterns are probably far more better at it than I am. I've got different ways of doing it, but I think it turned out okay. If you want to see like a video where I do sort of more like battle damage, more kind of grime look stuff, because I really enjoy that sort of thing, let me know in the comments down below. And also, if you collect Dark Angels, also write it down in the comments, let me know if I've done them justice. Hopefully I have honoured the first Legion. So if you want to pick up some minis for yourselves and check out, I've got an affiliate link for Wayland Games. If you order through them, I get a little bit of something as well, and it just helps just to kind of, you know, keep these little hobby bits going, really. So it's a win-win for everybody. And speaking of wins, and again wins, is to consider all the little buttons down below. So we got subscribe, we got likes, we got hype as well, which is relatively new-ish. And yeah, if you want to just click them all, that will make me very, very happy. Lets me know that you enjoy what I do and want to see more of it. And I just like to see the numbers go up, really. You know, it's a very nice feeling. is very nice fitting indeed. I've also got a link to a Discord server, so you want to chat, hang out, ask questions, send progress pictures, that kind of thing. You can join me over there as well. You know, it'd be fantastic to see you over there. It would be great. And I think that will do it. So next week is going to be the run to the litter, the last ones to be picked. Who'd have thunk it? The Ultramarines. So that's what we're going to be painting for next week, and that's going to be the last of our Horus Heresy series. So I'm looking forward to what we sort of decide is going to be the next series of painting stuff that we're going to do. I'm going to sprinkle in some bits that aren't Games Workshop related, just to see kind of what happens, because I do enjoy painting the Star Wars Legion stuff, and I haven't done that in a little while. Same thing with the Halo miniatures that I've done as well, that I've printed off. So yeah, if you want to see stuff that isn't GW, let me know in the comments. I'll probably do another poll as well. You can kind of let me know over there as per usual. So thank you ever so much for watching all the way to the end, and really do appreciate it. So stay safe, stay beautiful, and we will see you all next time.